All right, week number 3, turning your IP into income. So I want to welcome each and every one of you back to the call this evening. So I want to make sure that you know that the website that I gave you, the link that I've been using, there's some content in here, and just want to kind of make sure that you're familiar with what it is so that you can know what it is and then you can use it appropriately. Okay, so inside of this website is the last 2 sessions that we've had. So week 1, of course, is here, and that, so you'll see it's right here, it's listed. Of course, week 2 we met on the 19th. So if you're looking and saying, well, what happened to the 12th? We did not meet on the 12th because it was a Super Bowl, so we took that week off. But this last week is already uploaded as well. And then, of course, the link is here for us to jump on. And then tonight, what I did is some of the information that I'm going to go over this evening, I went on and embedded it into this website. Okay, so that you'll be able to look at it and review it. So when the information we're going to kind of cover tonight, a lot of it is going to be right here inside of this website. So you have access to it. Okay, so I want to make sure that you know that. When you get to this portion of it, only thing you have to do, there should be an arrow button at the inside of the website. Just click the arrow and you can go through the slides. So I'm going to keep this up tonight, and we're going to pretty much go through it from here, because I want to make sure I cover the things that I said, because next week is the last week and we're going to really put everything together. So let me say, on the front side of tonight, I have more content than we have time. So I want to make sure that it's relevant to the individuals that are listening. And I know those that are watching it on replay, I want to make sure it's relevant to you. There are going to be plenty of questions that you have tonight, okay? Because we're going to talk about systems in which we use. So I'm not going to really go through a review portion because that's going to take up a period of our time. So hopefully by now, though, you're continuing to work out what it is that you're saying. You're working out your quote systems of, your runway experience. And throughout tonight, I'll continue to review, because I'm going to put a lot of these things together. And then next week, we're really just trying to put a bow on what it is that we're doing. Okay, so remember, we're turning our IP. It's your intellectual property. It's the thing that you're passionate about. We're turning that into income. We believe that you can both make impact as well as make income. And so that's the whole purpose of what we're doing. All right, so tonight I want to get into getting results. So first off, social media is not the only place you can market. It just happens to be a good place to market. Many people today are on social media. Millions upon millions of billions of people are on social media. So it is just the hotbed of marketing. Marketing used to be newspaper ads. Marketing used to be telephone calls. Used to be send a lot of flyers or emails, or send flyers to people in the mail. Then we moved to email marketing. Today, a lot of our marketing has moved to social media. Now, with social media marketing, we have to remind ourselves that it's a big ocean out there. It is a big ocean. So you'll hear me use terms like the ocean is social media. Once you got people's attention, take them to what I call a stock pond. So a stock pond is where they've already expressed interest in you. They've expressed interest in your topic. And so they're either following your page, they're either commenting on your post, they've either dialed into maybe an email list or an offer that you've created. That becomes your stock pond. Those are people that are not just out in the ocean anymore. They're now locked in and laser sharp to you. That's the people you want to give your attention to. We do a lot of marketing to get attention. Once you get attention, you provide information and value to the people that have raised their hand and said, I'm interested in what it is that you have. So think of it from the standpoint, if somebody gave you a coupon to a restaurant that you like, the coupon, if you like that restaurant, the next thing you're going to do is schedule a time to go to that restaurant. And once you get to the restaurant, now they have the opportunity to do what they do best, and that is to serve you, sell you, upsell you, do all those things because you're now inside of that restaurant. Okay. So remind yourself, you got to know where you are and what you're doing based on where you are. So if they're on your page and they're following you, they're a candidate to be sold. If you're out in the ocean, you're trying to get their attention. So your marketing has to be value driven, because people follow value. People do not follow just sales. They follow value. So you're only going to get a few people if you just go to the ocean and just throw up a sales page. But if you add value, you start to get people to follow you. Okay. So that's the reason why it's very important for us to see that. So tonight, here's the 3 things that I really want to kind of talk about. So on this front side here, we're talking about getting results. So real quick, when it comes to social media, most do it for entertainment, while a few of us do it to generate business. Without a strategy, you could be wasting time, energy, and even money. So then this is a slide that I've used before. So I have a 90-minute Spark session where I help people find out small tweaks that can lead to major outcomes. Okay. The big portion is if you're going to be on social media for your business, I want to make sure that you're there with a business mind to it. Okay. So the first thing is hook story offer. Hook story offer is one of the things we're going to cover tonight. Number 2 is you got to create your client journey map. Okay. That's a very important thing we're going to talk about. And then the third thing, we'll talk a little bit about pricing your program. If we don't get through pricing your program, it's okay, because we'll do that next week as we put everything together. But the first 2 I really want to get to. Okay. So let's see. Let's move here. Oh, okay. So I want to talk to you real quick about operating systems in which I use to make all the stuff that you see happen. Okay. And again, you have access to this. So operating systems I use, and then I'm going to talk about all of them just real briefly. And then I'm going to break down the ones that are like must-haves. Okay. Like must-haves. If this is about monetizing, if you know, again, we're monetizing what we do. So of course I have a website, right? I have a website. I use what's called ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels to me are their landing pages. And the difference between a website and a ClickFunnel, simplest way for me to explain it is a website is information that doesn't change that often, right? It's that go research me, go get my bio, go do those things. That's a place where it doesn't really change. A landing page is that it's something where an offer's there. So if you're not interested in the offer, you're leaving. And I'm okay with that. The landing page's purpose is to attract somebody in for your specific thing that you do. You're not there trying to give them directions to the entire thing that you do for all the stuff that you have. You're not there to do all that. On your landing page, it is there for you to attract them for the specific purpose and to point them to the next step. So on a landing page, I am not trying to get somebody to do everything. I'm trying to get them to do one thing. Many times on my landing page, when I do it, I'm trying to get their name and email address. Because if I get their name and email address, underneath the table, I can market to them all the time with emails. I can add value to their life. I can throw I can give them a free lesson. I can give some posts to them. I can do all kind of stuff because I've now captured their email address. Okay. So that's the landing page. Website, informational. Go learn about things. Click a button. Hopefully you stay there. Landing page, it's about one thing and you're getting them to the next step. All right. So website, ClickFunnels is what I have. Videographer. One of my major investment for me is in video, right? And we'll get into why and all that, but videography is big. Zapier is a connector. These are just different sites that I might point to. Zapier is a connector. All right. So let's get into the bottom. Okay, I'm sorry. So the bottom portion of this, Canva is where I create a lot of designs from. Now, in many of the things that I'm going to talk about, there's a free version of them and there's a paid version of them. Okay. And again, I'm just telling you some of the base level, and I'm going to show you some examples of all these things tonight. Calendly, this is how I set appointments. So for sales calls, for consultations, people that are interested, I use Calendly again as my appointment generator. Okay. Constant Contact is what I use for my email flow. Okay. That's where I can send out different emails. You can put people in different buckets. There's so much you can do. I'm going to tell you right now, highlight that. That's my gold mine. I have not used my Constant Contact as effective as I should, right? This is the area that I'm really working back through right now. Since the conference I did, I'm doing better, but that's an area that I have to get better in if I'm going to continue to scale inside of my business. But Constant Contact, and again, there's so many of these out there. So I'm just telling you the ones I use, okay? Stripe is how I take payment, okay? Stripe is how I take payment. And then Zoom. I use Zoom for meetings. I use Zooms for the classes like this that we record. I use that for Zoom, okay? And then again, there's so many different versions of it. All right, must-haves. So I'm going to tell you, if today I was brand new, had nothing, what are the must-haves I would have inside of here? I wouldn't have a website. I wouldn't care about a ClickFunnels. I wouldn't necessarily do videography out the gates, not with the paid videographer. I probably wouldn't have Zapier. I would have the bottom 4. Or bottom 5. So Canva, because I got to create designs. Calendly, I got to have some place to set appointments. Constant Contact, email flow. Stripe, I got to get the money. And Zoom, I got to be able to do something there. Okay. Those would be the ones that I would have, hands down, without. And I could build into the other ones. Okay. And I'll show you some of those things as we go this evening. All right. Any questions right now about just these systems right here? Okay. And who knows, I may do a class on teaching just how I use all of them, like breaking it down and that. But all right, so that's that. Okay. And tonight, if you have questions, man, please, make sure you stop me, because again, I know it's going to be more content than I have. All right, 5-fold focus. Let me just remind us of this. This is a different way of saying it, but when I saw this today, as I was kind of preparing for tonight, I thought this was good, and that's why I wanted to include this. Again, you have access to it. So the first thing is being. You got to know who you are. So we've talked about that, right? When I say know who you are, I'm talking about your business, right? I know, Suzanne's on the call. She does a lot with women to woman, her business. My parents are on the call. It's about a marriage focus. Bridget, she's on the call. She does a lot with living that fanatical life. Carol's on the call. Of course, she's a realtor, but she's really on the call specifically focusing on her speaking component of her life. So you got to know who you are. Second thing is marketing. If you don't know who you are, you can't go to market. Marketing is know who and what you want. So when I know who I am, I know who and what I want, right? So remember, many times your IP has to go find the problem. So you can't run from the problems. You got to go find the problems, because knowing who and what you want, it's kind of like if I'm a marriage group, I got to find marriages that are in trouble, because that's the people that are going to need me. So that's the solutions that you bring, right? That's where we talk about what based on the results of. That's the phrase I want you to catch. When you're into marketing and you're into really getting somebody to know you and know your business, you're really saying based on the results of you joining Woman to Woman, this is what's going to happen. Based on the results of you hiring me as a speaker, this is what's going to happen. Based on the results of you joining our marriage call, this is what. So again, based on the results of is big. Know who and what you want. Please tell yourself right now, I am not looking for everyone. You're not. Those who look for everyone find no one. You want to dial in, narrow in, figure out who it is that you want. And watch this. When you do, you'll get the overflow. But you got to know who you want, because you can't effectively go to market if you haven't studied your client, if you haven't studied their pain points, if you haven't studied their problems, if you haven't studied their trends, right? So you got to know those things, okay? Third thing is adding. When I know who I am, I know who I want, I can add now. Know how you add value. How do you show up and add value to this group of people? You know, what is it that you do? You know, what do you have? How do you add value? Remember, last week we learned, right, when my parents went out of town, they asked questions to their ideal network, because we always know that the A is we ask questions before we add value, because we want to be relevant to the people that we are trying to reach. So our asking of questions helps us to know, what do people want? Because what people want is what people will pay for. Okay, so then we add value. Connecting, next piece is know who to give your time to. Ooh, know who to give your time to. Okay, inside of here, you got to know who to give your time to. You know, if I'm Carol and I want to be booked as a speaker, I got to start thinking, okay, who books speakers? So one of the things that I did when I first was getting into the speaking industry is every conference that I felt that my voice should have been in, after that conference was over, I then went and tried to connect with that person that ran that conference. Because next year they're going to need speakers. So you got to remember, you got to be in this for the long game, not the short game. So next year they're going to need a group of speakers to speak. So what were their qualifying? What made the candidate qualified to speak? So I did two things. I wanted to connect with the speaker, and I wanted to research this person that got chosen to speak, because that's my competition, right? I know that I got to either have what they have, do what they do, or be on top of my stuff. See, this way you can't be afraid. Okay, your stuff is good and great, and I know it is, but you got to remember, people have choices and options. So if you're not studying the people that are doing something similar or the same as you, you're missing out on an opportunity to gain some additional information. So I want to know that. Sometimes people get picked as a speaker because of who they know. Sometimes they got picked because of their message. But if I'm studying this, I can give myself a one-up. I'm looking at the forms that they presented. I'm looking at what their bio looked like. I'm looking at their pictures. I'm studying all of these things nonstop, because if I'm going to be a candidate and I'm going to be in the conversation, then I got to be there. It's like right now, I'll give you a little quick insight. I'm being, for a major company, it's between me and Deion Sanders who's going to do the keynote this year, right? Okay, great. Deion has all these things. You know what I'm hoping for? Deion's so busy that when they say, okay, well, you know what, Deion, we really wanted you, but twofold, you cost 80 grand and you're real busy. And this other guy, we're going to give him a shot because he got some juice and he don't cost 80 grand, right? So, but my point to you is, you don't always know who you're up against. And the moment you do, I can't say, oh, it's Deion Sanders. No, I got to stay true to me, but also know, okay, if you're going to play on this level, you better play on this level. You know, my pictures all can't be from an iPhone at that point. See what I'm saying? This is where that investment into your business is going to bring a return to your business. We can get the business started that way, but at some place you got to reinvest back into your business if you're going to be able to go and catch greater and more and different type of people. Okay, so connecting, know who to give your time to. You can't give it to everybody, you know. Then leading, know where you're taking them. Okay, know where you're taking them. All right. Okay, all right. So, okay. Ooh, man, I'm telling you, y'all. Let me just tell you, I'm providing y'all some gems up in here for y'all. Like this here, this sheet right here. Okay. Lead magnet. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the top of the page real quick. Okay, here we go. We're going to run through the top of the page, and then we're getting ready to move into this hook, story, and offer. All right, so here we go. So lead magnet, real simple. Lead magnet. You're looking for leads. Notice that inside that box, it's social media places. That's just where I put right now. Okay. So as a lead magnet, what to do is I'm going on social media, opt-in page, you want it. So what do I want them to do? Okay. So I went out there with something. I want them to do something. Opt-in page. What I tell you earlier, I want their name and email address many times, right? That's them to opt in to something. And then lots of times after you have an opt-in page, you have a core offer. So your core offer is like your bread and butter. It's your main thing. It may not be the highest thing that you do, but it's the thing that you're doing right now. So use for an example, a core offer of mine is it my 90-day coaching that I used to do for a group. That was a core offer. I called it the DGCP method for winners, dream, growth, change, push. That was my core offer when I started. Now, from my core offer, there's upsell and downsell. Upsell just meaning bigger offer. Downsell just meaning smaller offer. Okay. So, and then I would have a thank you portion of it and then follow up, right? Fortunes in the follow up. What I say here, I'd stay away from spamming groups. What you don't want to look like is a person that just goes and sees there's 22 groups and you just put all your stuff in 22 groups. Don't do that, right? Respect the groups, build relationships. How do you get people? You add value. You don't just throw your offer, throw your offer, throw your offer, throw your offer, throw your offer. You build value, build relationships, okay? So lead magnet on social. So why we do it. So I have here webinar sign in, right? That was that. How often this is the frequency of what we do, okay? And then measure and monitor. You got to measure and monitor everything that you do. So now let's look here. What to do? We got to have an opt-in page, hook, story, offer. So I give you an example of some of the things that you could give or do inside of these. You could have a video training, and video training could be something as simple as one video series that you did. So now let me make sure I want to make this plain. The easiest way to do a video training today is to set up a Zoom that is just you on, open the Zoom up, teach from your Zoom that you're recording, and then boom, you got a video training because you can download that Zoom, you can upload it to YouTube, and now you have something that you can give back to people. And it's your training. You can do a training where you're not even seen. You just have the screen up and you're doing talk through and you've got slides that you're clicking through. Okay. Now I know I'm in the weeds a little bit, but I want to make sure you give an example. If you got a book, your book could be your giveaway. Hey, click this link, get a copy of my book. I'm giving you a free PDF version of my book. You can give a chapter way of your book, right? Different things you could do to be able to get people in. These are considered hooks. So what is a hook? A hook is anything that's attractive to your ideal avatar or client. That's a hook. Anything that's attractive that they want. So like in my world, case study sometimes is a good hook, right? People want to see a case study on how you do something, Carol, a hook for you could be listening to a YouTube of you talking, a 3-minute version of your talk. See, that's a hook. So different things can be a hook, okay? Core offer, again, that we have here, then upsell, downsell. So the hook, again, is anything that your ideal client could want. So I want to stop for a second and I want to ask you, what is a hook in your field? Give me an example of a hook inside of what you do.
For me, Mine would be, it could be several things because it's really purpose/personal development related. So one thing could be three, I'm just being real generic right now, but 3 keys to boost your confidence. Um, um, Eradicating procrastination from your life for good. How to eradicate procrastination from your life for good. You know, things like that.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Perfect. And good. Thank you for throwing the how to, because that's people love how to's. So perfect. How to, right. Eradicate, PDF version of this. But yes, perfect. I love it. Somebody else.
I have a template. I haven't offered it in a while, but it's a template that they can download to help craft their signature story.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. And so watch this template. I just want to say this on that. So template of what she just said of how to do something like that. People love that, right? Because they feel like now you're teaching me something, and that's value, right? I will say too, while we're on that, watch terminology as well, because terminology changes, So you want to continue to make sure that your terminology's in the latest terminology. So like one of the buzzwords right now in that is framework. Like that's the new thing that everybody's pushing now. So like I could take what Suzanne just said and say, the framework that we use to craft your signature talk to get on stages, but just so notice all we did was take her word of template and put framework there, and you now stayed relevant, right? Because template used to be the word, but now framework is the word. And again, how do I know that? Because you start seeing it more and more, and whatever you're seeing is where people are. Okay, so all right, good stuff though. Yeah, I love it. Perfect. Carol?
So the hook for me would be how to take the strategies that I provide to turn those into operating in your purpose, from your pain to your purpose, walking through, from being someone that's, been in a turmoil, had grief, and now learning how to turn that into something that is valuable and, propels you on to your next.
Yes. Okay. So you can start as wide as there, and you could go as specific as using your direct story and saying how I made it after 5 ways to make it after loss, right? And then perfect. The Butts family up there, the dynamic duo, the combination group, Leon and Hattie.
President accounted for.
Yes, I know.
Taking a lot in here, but when you talk about the hook, we're talking about marriage call, and the people we're looking at is people that are having problems with marriage. So some of the hooks we came up with were producing romances, teaching how to have your romance that's real, defining that for people, solutions to conflicts, giving what you want to get. And then we said fixes for finances, because most people that have marriage problems have finance problems. And then the big one is the big C, is opening honest communications to produce your marriage, to help you with your marriage to last. So those are things we would use as the hook.
I love it. And let me just throw one in there. How to make it after an affair.
Can you say again?
Yeah, how to make it after an affair.
I'll take that in consideration, sir.
So here's the thing. Okay, so all the ones you guys said are perfect. I'm just throwing now, because watch this. In everybody's hook, I did yours there to talk to everybody though. In everybody's hook, you got to have something that's an eye catcher and a disruptor. Right? Because I'm going to stop. Now, let's say the man is the one that had the affair. He may not click in, but I guarantee you that woman is. See what I'm saying? So whoever, or vice versa, if the woman was and then the man is, because see, again, it's a disruptor. It's like, oh shoot, they came out like this, you know. So okay, so good. So everybody sees that. All right, so the hook is anything that your audience wants, that you have, that, again, watch this, that they're willing to click into. So can I tell you the easiest way to know you got a good hook is when you put it out there, if people start saying, oh, I want that. If they don't, you like it. They just don't. Right? So your audience will tell you. Now, you got to give it time, and you got to also do the other things, you know, of course, to build the audience around it, but they will tell you. Okay. When I wasn't getting booked, I was either in awareness phase of my life, or I was in you ain't talking the talk, or you talking too many variety talks. People don't know. So I had to get more laser sharp. I had to get more focused, and I had to, you know, be consistent in the things that I'm talking about. Okay. So, okay, that's hook. Story. All right. Story. Write this down, please. Me, we, you. Me, we, you. So you have to be able to do this when you're talking. You have to do this also in your writing. Me, we, you. So this is a formula I learned from Lisa Nichols inside of her training of training speakers. And she calls this the audience connector. Okay. It's the audience connector. Me, we, you. So you don't want to pose yourself as just telling too many times and you're talking at somebody. So what me, we, you does is it creates a softer approach. I remember when I was struggling in my own self-identity and just couldn't find my way and just didn't love myself. I struggled with my skin tone. I struggled with the fact that I had a large gap, and I just really couldn't find my identity as an individual. Okay, me. There was the me, right? We. You know, we often have something that we like about ourselves, but we also have things that we just don't like. For some, it's their weight. For some, it's their skin tone. For some, okay, we, right? Have you identified the area in your life that sometimes holds you from your purpose? Have you found that very thing that you? So notice I started with me, moved to we, moved to you. So what did I do? I made somebody like, oh my gosh, when I'm talking about me. And they're sitting there listening like, how are you on the stage, but you're telling me a problem you had? When I talked about we, it's like, yeah, you're right. We do have that. See, and I make it okay for them to head nod like, yeah, I got that thing too. But then I wanted to make sure, hold on, I am talking to you. Have you ever? See, and then we get into talking directly to them. Okay. So me, we, you. So my hook is my starting place. It's my get attention. It's my very thing that's going to be my thing that you want. My story is going to be where you can come and connect to me. The bus the transit system that happens, if the bus is on 42, bus 42 is supposed to go down a certain street, it never stops going down the streets it's supposed to go down. But it always stops at the spots it's supposed to stop, and it lets people on or it lets people off. Me, we, you is letting people on your bus. It's your way of being vulnerable and authentic so that people will get on your bus. You'll get a new initial group of people that will get on your bus because you're the expert, but the expert has to also let them see some of the scars that you've had. Not scabs, scars. Scabs are your current problems that you're dealing with and you haven't got through them yet. Don't let people know those. Scars are your previous problems that you've already dealt with and overcome that don't hurt you anymore. When you can talk to people about your scars, it lets them know that you're human. They already see that, oh, you're this and you're that. But just think about some of the people that's made the impact in your life. They opened up to you and they shared things about their life. Right? So you got to be able to do that if you want to connect. Because once you can connect like that, now people are willing to get on your bus and they want you to take them to the journey. Okay? So just remember, notice what I said. Scabs, current problems, are two recent problems that you don't want to talk about, right? I don't want to talk about that yet, you know. But my scars, oh man, let me tell you. You know, 13 years ago, I had a divorce. I got a divorce. See, I can talk about that, right? I can talk about being a blended family. I'm down the road, right? So, and when you do, you now can move people to a place. People are not looking for perfection. They're just looking for somebody that's willing to go in the journey with them. So I got to go to the journey and show you both my good as well as my bad. Okay, I start off today and say, constant contact, I don't do a good job there. You see the things that I may do well, but talk also to me about the things that you don't do well, right? So we got to move to that place and, you know, and be that. That's a separator for you. It's a game changer, differentiator, because everybody taking a picture next to the jet and to a Bentley doesn't own them, right? And people are, it was cute when all the advertising started that way before. Now people are like, I don't even want a jet. So why do you think you had to take this picture and do your video in front of the jet? Matter of fact, it's a turnoff, right? So I'm saying that to say you don't have to have the glitz and glamour and the high life stuff in order for people to be connected to you. Okay. So story. Inside of your story, all you're doing is you're starting to use your life and you're using your situations, you're using your jobs, you're using your career. Here's the easiest thing I can tell you. Stop trying to come up with content and just understand that you are content. Man, let me say that again. Stop trying to have content sessions where you're trying to come up with content. So here's the folks that struggle with content, is when the people that don't want to allow them their lives to be content. So let me go to the Bible real quick. Paul said, I'm a written epistle. What was he saying? He said, man, my letter, my life is the letter. Let me tell you about who I am and tell you where I've been, tell you what I've done. Let me tell you, man, I'm the chief among sinners. But I wrote all this, yeah, but I'm the chief among sinners. The closer I get to God, the more I'm going to tell you how bad I really am. And the more I tell you how bad I really am, the more you really want to listen to me because you're so impressed with me. So what he was saying is, I don't need to come up with content. I am the content. And that's the same thing I'm going to tell you. If you allow all of your experiences to allow it not to be a cul-de-sac, but allow it to be a conduit, what happens at that point in your life is what? You don't allow the things that you've been through to be in vain. They're now the very thing that you can use to get gain in your world. So again, I want to say it again. You don't have to try to come up with content. You are the content. Okay? Which means everything about you can be used for your story. Now, control the narrative when you're telling the story. Okay? You control the narrative when you tell the story. You know where you're ultimately getting them to. So as you craft your story, say it in a way so that people can feel it, they can relate to it, and then they can allow you to take them to the next place. You don't want to come across as the know-it-all. Okay? This was an area I had to work in. I had knowledge about things, and I came across initially like I just knew everything. But this me, we, you area allowed me to become more transparent and allowed me to be more vulnerable, and more people have greater connection when I tell my story than when I just tell them the points. You'll get to the points, but you got to first get to the hearts of the people, right? What they say about Mother Teresa, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? So we got to get into that. How do you can show you care is by sharing. What do we say? Sharing is caring. Well, then share. You can go through it for you just to, privately have victory. Turn it around now and allow it to help gain that for you. Okay. Offer. Offer is just, what do you want them to do? What's the next step? So sometimes offer is name and email address. Sometimes offer is sign up for my $97 course. So what do I want them to do next? That's all you need to think about when you're thinking of offer. So hook. So if I'm on a lead page, hook is how to affair-proof your marriage. Story. The 3rd year of my marriage, I didn't think we were going to make it. I just thought that the honeymoon was over, and I thought that this was going to be I thought I was going to have a honeymoon every single year of my marriage. But we couldn't communicate. We couldn't do it. We often have something in our marriage that we struggle with that we can't. So I'm going to walk through me with you. Have you identified the very thing that could be the reason why you go and have a divorce? Have you identified? Okay, so I'm going to tell the story. Offer. Download my 5-step framework that will share with you the things that's necessary in order for you to have an affair-proof marriage. Okay, so notice down on the lead page there, what did I just do? I told them what I got. Story, I use me, we, you. Notice it don't have to be long, but I use me, we, use to connect. And then I gave them an offer, name and email address. See, so then now I got what I want right there. Remember, once you get name and email address, now I can nurture that individual and lead them down a path. Hopefully my next sheet that I got is taking us there. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. Boom. All right. Remember, you have access to this. I'm telling you right now, boy, this. All right. So my system, this is me following and paying attention to people that have looked at me. You're gonna have to come up with your own. But here's what people know. KLT, people know, people want to do business who they know, like, and trust. That's what everybody says, know, like, and trust. So I'm just going to show you, this is what people, kind of the journey map that people use to get to me. They meet me online. So many times I speak somewhere. I spoke Thursday for Women's Council Realtors. It was a room about 50 people. My Instagram grew about 32 people that day. I say about, well, I know exactly because it's a metric. So it grew 32 people. So 32 people out of the 50 people in the room, they liked it enough to go follow me on Instagram. So where am I at? Start online, meet me online. They're starting to follow me. Well, once they start following me online, guess what they're going to get? They're going to get content. Why are they going to get content? Because I post on a regular basis. Okay. So they get to know me. Once they get to know me from my new content, people that are really trying to find out more about me, they review old posts. And this is why it's important for us to have things out here, because when they review old posts, they're learning more about me. And they get to make a decision right now. I like you. So your content should be out here enough, organized enough so that they can start doing this. They say, I like you. Once they say I like you, go to the bottom right here. They attend a class. Sometimes I'm doing a free class. Sometimes it's a low cost class. They attend a class. And then what are they saying? Let's try this out. I like some of the posts. Now I'm going to try a class with them. Okay. Then from there, they either request a consult. So class or consult either happens, because I have a calendar where you can do a 15-minute consultation there without going to a class. So one of those two things happen. And then what are they asking? Can you assist me to win? I know your business says assist you to win, but can you assist me to win? A lot of times from that place after the consult, my next thing is Spark session. That's my pretty much lowest level of entry where they can come get a session with me. I'm ready to work with you. What are they saying? I like you. I feel that you can assist me to win. I'm ready to work with you now. I trust you is what they're saying. After they move through my trust you, it's either going to be group coaching or one-on-one coaching. And what are they saying? I want more time with you. You do have something that can help me. I want more time with you, right? If space is available, they do, they'll do one-on-one. If not, they'll do maybe a group that I do, right? If they start seeing changes in results, what do? They continue following. So now they're not with me because they like me. They're not with me because they trust me. They're with me now because they start seeing results. Like Suzanne's probably one of the newest people on the call. And I can walk through this, and she's shaking her head. She can agree. Because she's very recent. She's been through this right here, and she's already at the stage right now where she's seeing results. So guess what this was her words that she told me after yesterday's call. Okay, Derek, I now need to go get some additional money because I don't want to have you every other week. I want to have you every week. Was it not, Suzanne? Right? But she saw results. So what does she want to do? Attend more class or continue coaching. And then it repeats the process. I use this to say you got to have some type of system. Maybe yours is just 1, 2, 3. That's okay. But you got to know what that system's like, because based on where somebody is, based on what they need to do next. So, okay, Carol, I want to shape this because I know this here is more for course creation, but I want hopefully you can see even if this was for speaking, because speaking is, right, the more content you start, maybe you have a YouTube page that has a channel and it has clips of you speaking, then they're going to be listening to more clips. Then it could be, hey, so one of the things you could do is, I do 3 speeches every year, complimentary. So that could be a way they get into that portion of it, right? So you can still do this. This is where I present my bio to them. This is where I have to present my speakers' topics. So there's different things that we can do. All right. Anybody have any questions about this? And man, I tell you, look here, 7:55 and we're right here. Jesus. Any questions that you have about this right here? Okay. No? Okay, cool. All right. Let's speed on. I do the same thing. I do the same thing with my teaching. I don't shoot from the hip. It can look like certain things, right? From content, I can shoot from the hip because as long as I stay creative, but I know where I'm going. Okay. So February to April, what am I in right now? 90-day group coaching. Really what that is to me today is one-on-one coaching, because I didn't do a group, but I have a group going on right now. Right? So that's where I'm at. April 12th, we'll do a speaker summit. May will all be about scale. June through August, I'm not doing anything except working with the clients I have. I'm taking a break from social media. Because why did I do it that way this year? I got a son that's graduating high school. I know we're going on a trip, and I'm not doing anything during certain portions of the summer. Right? So September, I'm gonna run the same system I did last year. Finish strong, start better. Same classes, same everything. October, and my stuff just repeats. Right? Okay. I know where my money is at in these months. February is going to be anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 dropped, right? April's about a $10,000 month. May, probably $2,000 to $3,000. June to August, hopefully we get a speaking engagement, right? but September, it picks back up again, right? So I know where that is, and I know my marketing goes around that based on that. So in January, you know what I have to do in January? I have to have a lot of video flow going because I got to have a lot of attention hitting to Derek Bucks because I got to make sure I had my 10 people in my class. See, then I can pull back. When I'm in class, I don't have to have as many videos. Like right now, I haven't posted a video all week, not a video that I'm talking that I like to do. I haven't posted one all week, right? Because I'm in reload mode. I got it. So my point is, you got to have that, okay? This is where your core offer and then your upsells and your downsells come in. Okay, let me make sure I say this. Don't forget, everybody in here, you get a one-on-one because you're thinking to yourself, I already hear your head right now. Okay, you're going way too fast. I need you now to break this down based on my area. You're 100% right, but I got to tell you the big picture so you can know what we need to ask when you get into the one-on-one. Okay, all right, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Okay. Oh, let me go back. Oh, okay. So, okay, I'm about to bless your life right here. Okay, I'm about to bless your life. Listen. You have to make a decision if you're going to go after volume or if you're going to go after high ticket per se. You got to make a decision which way you're going to go. Okay. So I gave you 3 things here that you can price concerning. Value-based pricing is where you base the scope of your project. We project the outcome and then base our pricing accordingly. Let me see. Anybody in the room? Don't really see a lot of value-based pricing, folks. Project-based pricing is where you review your project, set our pricing based on the expectations and demands for completion. So I'll give you an example. Project-based pricing is somebody comes to me and says, Derek, I want you to build out some of the things that I see. So that's a project. So when I think about a project, I think, okay, I'm going to build out. What am I building out? You need 5 graphics. You need 3 videos. You want me to build out a funnel, so that's a project. Value-based is really my content that I'm teaching. A lot of times my content based on who I'm teaching it to, right? So if I'm showing a group of realtors how to go get one client, I know on average they're making $8,000 to $12,000 per client. Well, if I charge 10% of that, they're going to be okay with it. So if I charge $997 for me to show them how to get their next client in 30 days, man, my room's going to be filled with it and they're okay because they gave $1,000 up to get 10. Why would they not pay it? So I can't necessarily charge $997 for somebody that has a $47 offer. Even though it's the same concept, but $47 to $997, they're thinking, I'll never outrun this money. So sometimes it's the values not based on you and what your content is. It's based on who you're teaching and what they're doing with it. That makes sense. So you got to know that. Then time-based. Oh, if I can tell you right now, please, if I can tell you something, if you can get away from time-based pricing, oh, please get away from it quick, fast, and in a hurry. I'm gonna tell you right now, please get away from it quick, fast, and in a hurry. Why you say that, Derek? Time-based pricing. Most people start off with time-based pricing. And the reason why people do is because they understand time more. They go to work, they give them $20 an hour. So in their head, the more time that we spend together, the more you should charge me. And I'm telling you right now, you want to get away from this one as quick as you can. If you have everything you do based on time-based pricing, you will not make the money you want and you'll spend way too much time in it. It almost shut me down completely. Not because of the value, but because of my pricing. I mean, almost shut me down completely to the place I was so frustrated because I was spending so much time and I'm adding so much value to people's life, but my pricing was off. And I'm telling you, I got so burnt out and frustrated and I had to figure this piece out. And I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not speaking bad about anything, but I want to help you right now because I know who's on the call and you guys have value. So when you're dealing in time-based pricing, many times you're dealing with hourly employees that only see life in hours. And they're trading time for money on their jobs. So, and when they're that way, it's that way. One of my highest paying clients I meet with 1 time a month, and that's the only time I see this lady. But because of the results that she receives, she's good with it like that. See, CEOs and business owners, they don't care to be on for a long period. When people start asking you, here's how you know where they are, where they say, so tell me, I mean, how many of these do we get? No, the question should be, how few can I have in order to get some results? Now that I have that, the more I have, the more results I should be getting. See, so when I notice that if I'm talking to my clients and I'm not seeing any action happening, that means we're talking too often. Or I'm talking, we got too much content we're delivering and you don't have enough time to apply. Okay, so I wanted to put this on here because I want you to think about this. Your people are coming to you because of the results that you're delivering to them, not because of how long it takes to get them. Now, initially out the gates, in order for you to showcase value to them, you got to push all that stuff in there, right? You're going to have to do it initially, but I want you to be thinking about it because you want to be able to scale back from that because you ultimately want to be in a place where it's just value-based pricing. Based on the value I give, here's the price. People see the value, they pay the price, and man, now go deliver the result. Okay? All right. Any questions right here? Okay. I know you got a question. Y'all just ain't gonna ask it. Okay, I'm skipping that right now. Y'all can look at that. Okay. Now I'm in the, okay, remember I told you, so these are graphics that we created that we would use. So I'm just going to show you a few graphics and then we're going to wrap up and I'll answer some Q&A. I'm just going to, so all these graphics I'm about to show you, we did all these graphics. These graphics came out of Canva. Okay. So these are graphics that came out of Canva. So different clients I have, I did things. That actually was my house. I worked with Stefan. I produced a lot of his graphics for them initially. Now his wife is doing it. So praise God. Okay. I'm giving an example. This is runway stuff. Remember I told you about coming up with quotes around your topic. These are the things that, okay, the easiest way for me to say it is this. I learned this from a lady Thursday. You want your content to be bingeable. So bite size, but so much of it that somebody just wants to keep eating it. Right? So what I do with it is I'm a quote machine. So every time I come up with a quote, I put it in my notes and it comes out like this. And I use the same backdrop right now because I'm trying to create what? Brand, consistency. When somebody sees this, they know, oh, that's Derek Butts' issue to win. Oh, that's Derek Butts' issue to win. Right? So I use the same thing. The only thing that changes in this is the quote. That's it. I don't change the color scheme. I don't change anything. The only thing that changes in this is the quote. So the quote is my hook. Inside the body of the post is my story. Right now, for the most part, I don't have an offer. Sometimes there's no offer. The offer really for me right now is if you like it, go keep reading more. But I don't even say that. Because sometimes I'm just in add value, add value, add value, add value, add value. And then boom, he has an offer. This dude added so much value to my, I got to come join it. Right? So I wanted to show you. That's just an example of that. Oh, this is okay. I embedded something there. Okay. So I'm just giving you examples, right? Just giving you examples. Boy, that's a crazy looking picture. We need to change that picture. Oh, look at there. Example, client testimonial. Right? Yep, there's Suzanne, y'all. There she is. So client testimonial, though, this is a thing that we use to help attract other people. Because people like, oh, let me see what she said. Well, shoot, if that happened for her, I want that to happen for me. That's how people see client testimonials, right? Okay. So remember I said earlier, you don't have to look for content. You are the content. This picture I didn't take, but a man took this picture and posted the picture. But I see how I can use it. So let me show you how I leverage this room. So you got a room. My ideal clients today is 92% of my clients are ladies, right? So this is a room, somebody else is teaching a lesson, and here it is, but I'm going to leverage this picture to help me get the people that are my people. Everything don't have to be yours. It's out here, okay? So just give you an example. That's just an example. I use the same thing, right? Now all I did was just change the framework of the stuff that's inside of here. But it's easy for somebody to flow and know that's Derek Butts, right? That's Derek Butts, because all three of my offers really are what? It's the same format. It's the same look. It's just different pictures, different things that are in there, okay? So I'm just giving you some examples. See, everything is content. This is all out of Canva. All it is a picture, throw something on top of it, right? Notice the color scheme. Everything is the same. Okay. Testimonials. Okay. DE, remember this. So when we had our event, and when you have other people join you, here's what I'll tell you, because some of you have events, you have other people you want to join you. Don't expect them to do it unless you ask them and then tell them exactly when you want them to do it. So this was Experience Bigger. And so my speakers, I provided them everything that they needed. And this is what I asked them to do. Post the flyer on the 1st, post your individual flyer on the 4th, post your flyer on the 7th, post your individual. And so we had a system that we did. And the reason why we did it this way is then everything didn't come from me and thinking that I'm just banging them the whole time. Right? So you got to have, but again, just gave you an example of somebody else's, so it looks different. That's Dr. Tanisha. We provided like a lot of her stuff that she did, right? Example of, this was right when Bank of America announced this. So I deal with a lot of people in the real estate industry. So while people were waiting, listening, doing this, I hosted a call right here and had 13 realtors on my call, just like that. Because this sheet didn't take me nothing. It don't take you long. I went on the line. I snapped a photo from Bank of America, another photo. So because I have photos of me, I just use different things, and boom, and we move. You're right. I move quick with the stuff. It's another guy that I do stuff for. You know, so I'm just showing you though how, again, you can make it where it's still brandable around what the person is. Let's see what else I got. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, that's it right there. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so let's see. Let's go all the way back. Take me back. Okay, Hook Story offer. You guys saw the Create Your Journey map tonight. Pricing your program. I told you we're going to cover that next week. All right, let me stop right here. Questions tonight. Let me get out of this. Is your head turning? Are you okay? You good?
I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah, excited. I
Good.
think for me, I overthink things.
Mm,
You know,
That's-
you said the content is in us, and we are the content. And so paralysis sometimes set in, and I'm like, I don't know how to, start. And after listening to you, it just kind of makes sense. Just
yeah.
flow. It's there. Don't sweat it, let it work. And then if it's not what they like you said, you can tell. You just revamp it accordingly.
Yeah.
But you
That's
got to start.
That's good. No, good. And can I tell you about social media? It's my best friend on social media is the delete button. When I know it doesn't hit, guess what I do? I just go delete it. Somebody be like, didn't you have this? I don't know, where's that? It's gone. Right? So yeah, but no, that's a good point though, Carol. Good point. Yeah. And you have to, and you just got to start, right? And I think that's where our word MIA comes in, massive, immediate, and perfect action, because you do have to start somewhere. And the first place you start is knowing who you are, what you want. You start on that place, but then once you do, the runway experience for everybody in the room, you can begin on, because you know your topic. And so you just start talking about your topic. Just start talking about your topic. And then you just get better the more you talk about your topic, right? All right, anybody else?
I would have to agree with what Suzanne and Carol said. Like you said, the beauty of it is you can tweak what doesn't speak
Yeah.
to
See
everyone
there,
else.
that's good.
Yeah, tweak what doesn't speak, because
See there?
everybody's not going to get you. And even people that start out with you may fall off. So you're constantly readjusting, revamping to an audience that may evolve over time.
Yeah.
So,
No, you're
yeah.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And
That's good.
And also, I know we have I love Canva. I love Canva Pro. That's my jam. But what do you think? Everybody's different, but what do you think about Reels?
Okay, so post story reels. Here's my quick version of that.
Mhm.
Reels are your reach. Okay. Reels on social media that's your reach. So when you want to reach and get some reach, reels. Posts are your permanence. Wherever I want to be permanent on my page, I think about putting it into a post. And then story. So if you follow me on stories, I don't care what I post on the story, because in 24 hours it's gone.
Yep.
So stories are my attractive thing. I'll post a story of me at the gym. So that's me almost thinking about being like a vlogger, right? So that's what I do, stories. Reels, I'm strategic. Reels are my way of, okay, here's my main message, here's my voice, here's what I want you to know about me, and I want you to spread it. That's what I'm trying to do with the reel. And then again, post, I'm thinking about permanency. So
Cool.
Is there a duration of how long a reel lasts? I know a story is short, but does it have a duration for a reel?
Doesn't that stay out there forever?
well, the
It's
real
permanent too?
from ever for there, yes, they
Yeah.
will stay up. You're right about that, Bridget. But then I think though, like it depends on the platform, Carol. Most of the times, like for me, when I think real, everything we're shooting now that's a real version, we're thinking 90 seconds and under. That's the goal of what we're doing, is 90 seconds and under when it's a reel. Now there are some that let you go 3 minutes with the reel, but where I'm at, I'm trying to do 90 seconds and under, because again, I'm trying to do more of it, so it's bingeable, right? It's, I like that video. Oh, that one, And so, yeah, but yeah, no, good point, Bridget.
Yeah, I think I've done a couple just off of cooking and stuff. I think Facebook is like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I want to say max.
Okay.
But I think Instagram might be a little less than that though. But I
Okay.
can't speak to anybody else. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so watch this. Let me show you this. So Bridget's area is like living a fanatical life. And she just talked about doing a reel on cooking. So let me show you how you can bring anything that you do. You got to think. All you got to do is think, what my area. Okay, my area is living fanatical life. Okay, so what foods make you just put a smile on your face? So now I can be doing, because you don't want everything to be just so businessy and so, you got to show them your life, and you got to show them that you're real. So, but I can take that very thing and then just add that question in. That's the other factor of this. Don't always make the statement, turn your statements into questions. What day of the week is the day that you're the happiest? You're right. What is it that you do to get yourself fired up? Right? It's that, you know, if you were a superwoman, what trait do you feel like every superwoman has? See, it's just asking that question, you know, asking that question, you know. Inside of your marriage, what's your next vacation spot? We ain't been on vacation, you know, right? You know, post your picture of your spouse. These are things that are putting you in your vein, and you're not, so everything doesn't have to be teaching a lesson. These can be engagement. So again, so I'm gonna use this term. Controlled creativity. Be as creative as you can in the area that you are in. Controlled creativity. I learned this from my wife. Where I struggled was I wanted my creativity to go everywhere. So as soon as I had a thought, oh, boom, and I would run with that thought. As soon as I had another thought, boom, I would run with that thought. Then she said, Derek, it's repetition. Repetitious information is what causes people to make a decision. So you don't repeat anything. You think it's so hot that you put it out there one time and you're done with it. And so I had to learn how to what? Have controlled creativity. I'm going to tell you, the toughest time for me was when I was hosting Experience Bigger. And I didn't post anything else except Experience Bigger. Now I posted variations of this and that. But that when I'm in like that kind of mode, oh, it's tough. Like I'm about to be in it again because April 12th, we're having an event. And I got to think, oh God, here I go. I got to start posting about this one event. Because what I don't want to do, if I want people to make a decision on that event, especially when you're charging, you got to drive that thing home. Okay. Any other questions? So I got to let y'all go. Let me shut this. Let me shut it off. So my replay people, let's see, where's my stop?